Alrighty, prepare to have your jimmies rustled. Hey there, demons. It's me, ya boy. Today, we are going to be discussing how to ape. And by how to ape, I mean how to use Rillaboom, the top-tier threat of VGC right now. So, basically, he went from being considered one of the most okay starters to being one of the most deadly. With the addition to Grassy Surge given to him, and everyone's like, okay, well, you know, Tapu Bulu had that. Well, guess what? Tapu Bulu doesn't have access to Fake Out, Knockoff, and the new Grassy Glide. Well, we don't know if he gets Grassy Glide yet. We haven't seen. But he doesn't have access to Fake Out or Knockoff, two amazing support moves in VGC. He also has access to Grassy Glide, which gets +1 priority, plus stab boost, plus grass boost. Yeah, basically, everybody has to be completely frightened of this thing right now, and they have to know how to deal with it and how to use it. So that's what we're going to teach you today, how to use Rillaboom. Before I start this video, I'd just like to remind everyone that I do stream on twitch.tv/FiendRiver, link in the description below. If you want to learn more about competitive Pokemon battles live and challenge me to battles, you can do so there. But yeah, go check that out. Anyway, on to the video. Rillaboom, pure grass type. One of the few that are actually legitimately very frightening. Pure grass is not normally a very frightening type because they're usually easy to deal with. This one, not as much. Rillaboom has a lot of natural bulk, has a ridiculously high physical attack for, you know, what it is. And yeah, basically this is what you're dealing with. And so yeah, you have a few options when it comes to his items. You have Grassy Seed, you have Assault Vest, and you have Life Orb. Mostly is like for overused. If you're going to go with Life Orb, it's normally for the overuse set, but let's talk about VGC first. So you have Grassy Seed, your standard set is Grassy Glide, Fake Out, and Knockoff are the main three moves you're going to be seeing the most. In the fourth slot, you could see stuff like U-Turn. You could see stuff like Acrobatics if he's using a Seed, because he'll get a double boost from the lack of item there. You could also have access to, well, he's never going to use Darkest Lariat because he has Knockoff. Drain Punch is an option to regain some health. Earthquake is a rare option, but also not really going to see it that often. High Horsepower is probably more likely. So yeah, you have those are your main options, and Superpower, one-off. And also even Woodhammer, just to do even more damage than Grassy Glide wouldn't be able to do. But yeah, these are the main things you have to worry about. Now, in terms of building your Rillaboom, you're going to have mostly, a lot of people seem to be going Jolly for some reason. I don't know why, because he already gets the priority with the Grassy Glide. So I personally prefer to go with a bulky variant, which gets, you know, boosts from the Grassy Seed to make him even further bulkier on the defensive side. So all he really has to worry about is special attackers. But, you know, this will live much longer. He has Grassy Glide, he has Fake Out, he has Knockoff, and he has U-Turn if he needs to go back and reset. You know, if you have to reset the terrain, like as if it's like wearing off, you have like a few turns left and you want to make sure you can reset it. It's a good thing to do, especially now since you have like Indeedee everywhere, which could completely reset the field. Yeah, you're gonna need to make sure you have the ability to preserve Rillaboom if you need him. Jolly Seed, again, the Jolly set's mostly the same thing, just one's, you know, going Jolly, one's going that, and your items are mostly Assault Vest, Life Orb, or Grassy Seed are like the main items you're going to be using. Like, nobody's really going to use Choice Band, although you could do it. I don't advise it. Expert Belt's also an option, and maybe like a few, like some of the berries. But yeah, your main option, most people are running Grassy Seed or Assault Vest, just because those are the best options for him. If you're not going to be using Protect, you do like Assault Vest, or you can even go Grassy Seed. Like, he doesn't really need it. He's going to be attacking so much that he normally won't need the Protect, but if you want to use it, you could use it. That's more or less the VGC side of things. We'll discuss the partners that he could use in VGC in a bit. Overused, you basically have two options. They're both pretty much the same. He's going to be going max at speed and attack for this, just because in overused that's better. It's more important. If you're going to go with the Life Orb, you use Sword Stance, Drain Punch, Knockoff, and Grassy Glide. If you're going to be going with the Grassy Seed, you go Sword Stance, Acrobatics, Knockoff, Grassy Glide. It's basically the same set. The difference is the Acrobatics if you're going to be going with Seed, because I'll get the boost from that. Other moves, like I said earlier, he could use are Superpower, Acrobatics, High Horsepower, Wood Hammer are like all other viable moves for him. But the most common 3 you're going to be seeing is Grassy Glide, Fake Out, and Knock Off are the mode 3 you're going to be seeing most in the VGC. Now moving on to his partners. Cinderace, this could also be G-Max, is probably one of the best starters. Sorry, best like openers. Like Rillaboom Cinderace is a terrific opener because it's not super easy to counter, and while certain things like Terrakion might have trouble with it, it really puts Terrakion in a bit of a threat. And your opponent really has to know how to properly use Terrakion in order to deal with that kind of opening. Normally, they'd have to protect and use, Tailwind the first turn with like the Whimsicott, and then start worrying about beat up, because otherwise they won't be able to kill the Cinderace. Cinderace is also a very good Pokemon with its abilities. Libero, which is basically what Greninja had. It's basically Protean. Physical. Cinderace is basically physical Greninja. That's what it is. So it's physical fire Greninja. Pyro Ball, Bounce, Sucker Punch, Iron Head. You also have the options of stuff like... Scorching Sands is special, so you're not going to use that. High Jump Kick, a lot of people are using. Just be careful when using it out of Dynamax, because if you miss or somebody protects, you're screwed. So don't do that. Try not to use High Jump Kick outside of Dynamaxing. As far as I also have access to Gunk Shot, which not a lot of people seem to be using, although it is possible to use. And yeah, you have U-Turn and Zen Headbutt are like your other 2 options. Alolan Marowak, also a very good Fire-type Pokemon. Bulky as all hell and does a stupid amount of damage with the Thick Club. So you have a base 80 and multiply that by 2. So normally you're going to want to run Alolan Marowak. I'm going to do a whole video on Alolan Marowak soon. But your basic idea here is you're going to be running, max HP, max special, physical attack, and max speed. Actually, lowest speed possible, +4. Actually, give him 1 stat and +4, just so we can outspeed opposing Marowak outside of Trick Room. Because Marowak can one-hit KO each other with Poltergeist. So if your Marowak is faster, you're good as long as Poltergeist doesn't miss, and you can completely knock out your opposing Marowak. So yeah, just make sure you're faster than the opposing Marowak outside of Trick Room. And it's a bit tricky, you have to see, because it's gonna happen. Hyper Seal, Primarina, Hyper Voice, Moonblast, Energy Ball, Icy Wind, Throat Spray. If you're not going with Assault Vest, you can use Assault Vest here as well. Max HP and Special Attack, you can even go Quiet Nature if you don't want to go Modest, if you want to be better for Trick Room. Liquid Voice, just, pretty straightforward. Porygon 2. Porygon 2 was one of the best Trick Room setters in the game right now. He's taking the best Trick Room setter crown from Dusclops because of just how much better a pure normal type is to a pure ghost. You only have 1 weakness here, as opposed to the regular 2 that you would have ghost and dark types. Plus, you also have access to download, which will actually make Porygon 2 a viable attacker, which is something that Dusclops just kind of stumbles in. So yeah, Porygon 2. Now, I personally don't use mine with Trick Room at the moment. I tend to use 3 attacks and recover. I can also do Protect here. But normally people are usually running 2 attacks, recover, and Trick Room, which is also like a very good and very viable thing to use. Togekiss. We're going to be going into a video on Togekiss in a bit, but right now this is like just your standard Togekiss set. You have Dazzling Gleam, Air Slash, Heat Wave, Protect. This is just your, your critical hit, Super Luck Togekiss here. That's just going to be doing a lot of damage. There's also the Follow Me variants, which I'm going to be discussing, but let's move on. And Incineroar. Also, if you're not using Cinderace or any of the other fire types alongside it, Incineroar is a great partner with Rillaboom, just because it also has a lot of access to a lot of good supportive moves. I don't know why I use Lash Out here. See, I always keep using, I keep remembering Lash Out being I mixed it up with the other thing, so don't use Lash Out here unless you're going to be using it with I don't know, some way to lower your stats. If not, just go Darkest Lariat. I don't know, I for some reason until recently I just remembered that that's not how the move works. So yeah, Darkest Lariat usually is your best option here, just to deal with that. Or Knockoff is also an option, but you have Knockoff on Rillaboom, so pick one. Yeah, usual Flare Blitz, Fake Out, Darkest Lariat, and U-Turn set if you're going to be doing Assault Vest here. If not, there's a bunch of different Incineroar sets. I could go into that also. We're going to do another video on that sometime. But yeah, more or less, that's how you're going to be using Rillaboom. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to check out our Twitch streams on twitch.tv/fiendriver, link in the description below. I will see you guys in hell. Fuck. Ah! Ooh.